We have two similar but much different games, that being a long drive and a dusty trip. A dusty trip being its own game with the goal of reaching 20,000 meters in game to get some cool loot and rewards, and a long drive being a game based of my summer car, and a dusty trip with simply being its stage where you explore the map. A long drive goes with being able to look blocky, but also feeling very smooth in terms of how you interact with items, get in and out of the car, and the overall feel of the game. And on the flip side, you have a dusty trip, which is much more choppy, a less realistic feeling game, making you feel like you need to pay Robux to enjoy playing the game, as there are more benefits from buying things than actual free-to-play content. Both games can feel boring at times, with a dusty trip feeling repetitive and not much for you to do, besides driving to get rare items, and in a long drive with having a chance to spawn in a snowy map or a grasslands map, but still just being a game where you drive around, get items for your car, then kill mutants. But it is only in its alpha stage, and much more is to come. A long drive has much more in-depth features, such as having to worry about your car battery, both your hunger and thirst, being able to use an actual in-game radio with CDs that you can find around, cleaning your car, and being able to use your car mirrors, and so much more. Whereas a dusty trip is a much more basic game, having to worry about your hunger, having to adjust to different in-game events like meteors, acid rain, and sandstorms. The combat in a dusty trip is much more buggy and glitchy, having to angle things correctly to get your shots off or to hit mutants, whereas in a long drive you can see your crosshair and your hits register more constantly. A dusty trip is a game you would grind out if you want to get the badges and get cool, rare items while collecting cars, even though there is no sign of you actually being able to trade them. And on the other side, you have a long drive, which is a more relaxed game where you just explore the map as of now, going as far as you want. A dusty trip definitely has a lot of potential with new maps and areas dropping like the Dunes map, but a long drive is definitely showing that they plan on taking over with, as they not only focus on the small details within the game, but also make the game feel more realistic and enjoyable, even if you were to play on your own or with others.